Lining up to go racing from iRacing's Texas Motor Speedway, it's round 3 of the di9 Designs Turn Down for What Xfinity Series. I'm Rick James, you're watching Hunter Peach and Zach Meredith head on down that back straight. The 2.6 Supra of Peach on the inside, the 1.7 Camaro of Meredith on the outside. Coming into tonight's race, Matt Boone and Zach Meredith tied for the points lead with 75 markers, only one solitary digit ahead of Nate Lehman. Lehman in that 1.4 Ford Mustang, starting on the outside row, getting ready to put his Ford into the front, but for now, drivers getting lined up, waiting for that pace car to peel off. Zach Meredith and Hunter Peach ready for 105 laps of action, and I hope you are too. Green flag is out, and we're racing from the Lone Star State.
Green flag, green flag.
It's Hunter Peach with the clear sailing into turn number 1. Jordan Bain behind him in the 2.8 B-Water Ford Mustang, being followed by Zach Meredith. Then to the outside line, you'll have Cole Snyder in the 2.4 Storm Chevrolet. Third on that top line, trying to make something happen. The number 1 of Shad Swatsworth in the oh-so appropriately painted Lone Star number 1 Nationwide Chevrolet. He's rounding out the top 5. 3 laps into this race. Fastest lap so far goes to Cole Snyder, who makes it all the way around the outside, using that momentum, using the draft out of the 4th corner. Cole Snyder, your new leader in car 2-4. See that purple Stotts logo on the banner. They're putting that banner on there for Steven Stotts, the hauler driver, driving the ARCA hauler who had that accident and tragically passed away. So good to see that the J-Paw Militia in the 2.4, the 2.2 as well. I believe the 9 of Enrique Quinones is running that one in the Michelob Ultra Chevrolet. There's Josh Arnold in the 22, rocking that one also. So far, it's all Cole Snyder at the front, though. He's got a 0.7 of a second advantage over Hunter Peach. The 2.8 of Jordan Bain sits in 3rd. Zach Meredith in that 4th position. And the 1 car, Shad Swatsworth, now being challenged by Corey Blevins in the 48. The Flat Out Motorsports Chevrolet on the outside of that 2x2, 3-row deep formation. Corey Blevins coming into this 3rd round, 10th in the points right now. He's got 1 bonus point to his name, and that's keeping him ahead of Rocky Top Wade, 11th in those point standings. Sam Wade out of pit road, the number 27 Tennessee Volunteers Ford not getting a great start. Not sure what exactly happened to Sam Wade. Comes down pit road on the third lap. I'm not sure if he got into some damage or what happened, but the 27 having to come down pit road. He'll rejoin the action. Some laps off the pace. Rounding out the top 10 is Brandon Pike in that 6'2" PPG Ford. Pike sits ahead of Jose Ruiz in the familiar-looking 2'3" DuPont Chevrolet. Then it's Mike Allen in the High Rock Vodka Chevy on the outside. He's being challenged by Jeff No in the number 2 Stout Whiskey, as he might be known, on the Xbox side. Has familiar sponsorship on the hood. The repeat 1975 sponsor. Number 2 Ford Mustang, currently sitting in the 13th position. 8 laps into this race, the 0-2 of Andrew Baker slams against the wall, and the number 7 Duke Chevrolet follows suit. That's Jarrett Manning in the Blue Devil Camaro, who tags the wall. The 7 following in the trail of the Deuce. Both of those cars just making contact with that outside wall, and hopefully nothing that's going to damage them too bad. Cole Snyder still leads, but now the 24 has a mirror full of Corey Blevins, the 48 Flat Out Motorsports Chevrolet. Challenging for that first spot. Let's ride along with Cole Snyder and have a look back to the challenge from Corey Blevins. Two, 4, 4, 8, 1, your top 3. It's all Chevrolets in the podium position, and then it is Hunter Peach and Jordan Bain, second and first respectively in last year's points championship. The 4-8 of Corey Blevins making his challenge for that lead. Hunter Peach looking at the number 2-8 B-Water Ford of Jordan Bain, filling that rear view mirror. Cole Snyder defending his lead bravely at the front. Further on back, Jeff No making his way through the field. The repeat 1975 Mustang looks to go to the inside of Mike Allen in that 8-8. The High Rock Vodka Chevrolet being put back to lucky number 13th position, and Jeff No joins the top dozen. Wisconsin's Matt Boone in the number 38 Federated Auto Parts Chevy. Looking at that 3-8, it always reminds me of Kenny Schrader. Some other drivers as well. But Boone not doing terribly in the top 15, possibly biding his time today at Texas. Drivers are going to get 4 sets of tires in this 105-lap race. Expect them to come down sometime between laps 25 and 35. But of course, cautions could come into the mix and throw all of that strategy right out the window. Pennsylvania's Cole Snyder still ahead of Corey Blevins. Mississippi's Josh Arnold high and dry on the top side, being overtaken by Jordan Bain. Arnold not yet being shuffled out of the top 5, using that momentum on the high side, and he's not the first driver we've seen make such a move. Josh Arnold looks like he's making the high side work for him. We saw the 2-4 of Cole Snyder also make the high side work for him. We'll see what drivers can make the best use of that top lane. Arnold is up 2 places from where he started. Jarrett Manning, despite having the damage earlier in that number 7 Duke Blue Devil Chevy, he's up 5 places from where he started this race. And you've got to give it up to Grandpa Coey in the 6'6 Rico Chevy. He's up 8 places, up to 19th spot. Chad Swatsworth rolling in 3rd, just sitting calmly in the wake of that 4-8 car. Hunter Peach some 8/10 behind this top 3, while Josh Arnold makes it around Jordan Bain for that top 5 spot. Let's ride around with the McGee, Mississippi native. This is Josh Arnold in the 5th position. Arnold getting a bit of a urgency from Zach Meredith in that 1-7. Now looks to sneak to the inside of Hunter Peach in the 2-6. Cole Snyder continues to lead with Corey Blevins getting a bit of an urgency from Shad Swatsworth in that 1. For now, everybody's still driving their cars to the limit if they can, but now Swatsworth getting not impatient, but curious about what lies below car 48. Looking for open space. Jeff No looking for the top 11. He's now on the inside of Brandon Pike. Bit of a blink from that 2 car. Matt Boone also looking to take the no route on the inside line. The 2 and the 38 trying to overtake the 62. Jeff No in 11th. Matt Boone in 12th. Brandon Pike down to 13th. And at the back end of the top 10, that DuPont Chevrolet, Jose Ruiz, sits 7/10 of a second behind Jake Millsap in the 1-9 Millsap Graphics Chevy. Kyle Taub sits in 8th behind Jordan Bain, the 19 of Millsap, right up against the wall, but he keeps it pushing. No harm, no foul for the 19. Cole Snyder able to extend his gap to half a second while Shad Swatsworth looks to the inside of Corey Blevins. 19 laps into this race. Got to give a shout out to Bama Trama, who's in the show tonight. Tree Wade as well early on in the chat. Fans at home, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you've just tuned in, you're looking at the battle for second place. Shad Swatsworth to the inside of Corey Blevins, who's now been put into that 3rd spot. Nate Lehman in the 1-4 Ford Mustang looks to the inside of Chris Murphy in the 2-1 OfferPad Supra. Enrique Quinones in the 9 Michelob Ultra Chevrolet. Now looking at an empty gap between the 14. There it is. Quinones following Nate Lehman. Nate Lehman wanted me to let everybody know he's an incredibly handsome gentleman. In pre-race interviews, he actually did say that. He said, Rick, can you please talk about something besides my blinking? Can you mention my good looks? So Nate Lehman, for what it's worth, is a very handsome driver in the 15th position behind Chris Murphy in the 2-1, whose handsomeness has not yet been discovered, but who knows. Jeff No, handsomeness aside, is doing a great job in that 11th position. He's half a second behind the 2-3 of Jose Ruiz, and over the last 5 laps, Jeff No has been increasingly quicker. That last time around, Ruiz slower by about 2/100ths. It goes back and forth with that draft. It plays such a heavy factor at Texas. Corey Blevins starting to scoot back as Hunter Peach has gotten around him in that 2-6. Mississippi's Josh Arnold is in the 2-2, next to overtake car 48. Zach Meredith in the 6th position, wondering what is the holdup, because here comes Jordan Bain in the 2-8. Jordan Bain following in that draft. Most of these drivers using just textbook drafting techniques. You're riding along now with Zach Meredith following the 2-2 of Josh Arnold out of turn 4. Meredith coming into tonight's race, tied for the points lead. No wins yet, but could we see a 3rd winner in 3 races? Just about 1/4 of the way through with Zach Meredith in that 17 car sitting in 6th, closely following Josh Arnold. Corey Blevins potentially trying to save some of his tires and fuel, but the lead now getting smaller. Cole Snyder in that 2-4 car, watching Shad Swatsworth get ever closer out of turn number 4. Let's ride along with Swatsworth in that 1 car. He's about to challenge Cole Snyder for the lead. Just like that, Shad Swatsworth gets to the inside of Hunter Peach in that 2-6. The 2-4 of Cole Snyder being overtaken and seemingly all too easy. Let's have one more look at what happened to that 2-4. Cole Snyder just up and out of that way. There's Swatsworth around Blevins, but we want to see Shad Swatsworth getting around Cole Snyder. There's the one car to the inside of car 2-4, and the 2-4 of Snyder just getting into the wall. That's what we didn't see from Cole Snyder. Almost getting into the wall a second time, and that cost him the lead. Meanwhile, from Nassau in the Bahamas, Elrich George in the 4-0 Exalta Toyota making a start, one of his, I believe, his debut. And not a great run for him so far. The Bahamian falling off on lap 27. Let's have a look. Oh, just skidding off the track. He did well to save it. Oh, almost saving it. But you see at the very end just clipping the left front corner. And George will most certainly have to come down pit road for repairs. At the front, Shad Swatsworth continues to lead, but he's not walking alone. Hunter Peach comes up behind him with that big red Ream logo on the hood of his Supra. Corey Blevins sits in the third position with Josh Arnold trying to catch up to him, but Zach Meredith will not leave the Mississippi native alone. The joint points leader moves to the inside of the Southern Beverage Company Ford, and that Red Bull has wings. He flies down to the white line in turn number 3, gently washes up on the racetrack, but the 2-2 pinches him down to keep the exit speed low. Meredith, unbothered with just a clip of the grass, has to check up. Jordan Bain now coming up behind him and not sure where to go. These drivers fighting for every inch that they can, and they're still side by side for the 4th position. Meredith gets around the 22, and that's Zach Meredith in the Red Bull Chevrolet who makes it up to the 4th position. Josh Arnold in 5th, Jordan Bain in the 6th position in the 2-8 B-Water Ford. Kyle Taub in 7th, Cole Snyder sitting in 8th. The top spot still being contested for as Big Papa Bear's in the chat, who says thanks to the viewers as well. And if you've recently tuned in, you're watching the fight for the lead. Last time you might have tuned in, you saw Shad Swatsworth fighting for 4th, but 32 laps into this race, Swatsworth sits ahead of Peach by 0.2 of a second. It's a Chevy, Toyota Chevy top 3. Cole Snyder continues to fall off the pace. He's now overtaken by the 23, and the 2 car of Jeff Noe finally cracks the top 10 with that repeat Ford. The Star-Spangled Mustang gets to the inside of Cole Snyder, and now Wisconsin's Matt Boone tries to join the party, but he's cut off by the 24. Snyder falling back in a hurry. He needs a caution or this first pit stop cycle. Matt Boone gets around Cole Snyder and moves into 10th. Jake Millsap is next on the list, already looking to get to the inside of car 24. Millsap trying to crack the top 11 positions right now. And at the front, Shad Swatsworth still ahead of Hunter Peach by 0.3 of a second. Jordan Bain to the inside of Josh Arnold. This is the pass for the 5th spot. The B-Water Ford on the inside of the Southern Beverage Company Ford Mustang. Car 2-2 car 2-2 overtaken by car 2-8. That's the move for 5th. Millsap now to the inside of Snyder, nursing that car just as easily as he can. Try and get a good look at the right side of Snyder. You can definitely see there's heavy damage. The sheet metal's bent out in places it shouldn't be. And Cole Snyder hurting at the moment. There are the points coming into this third round. Nate Lehman sitting in the third position, just 1 point off of the top two, or at least the fight for first. It is a tie between Matt Boone in that 3-8 car. Boone just recently cracked the top 10, and now he's working on Jeff No for that 9th position. And then you're looking at Zach Meredith in that 1-7 car. He's sitting in 5th right now, looking to get to the inside of Corey Blevins. Andrew Baker has decided to come down pit road, and the 0-2 finally getting repairs. Jeff Lednam also on his way out with a shiny, bright, and beautiful Shelby GT350 liveried Mustang. Lednam and Baker in 22nd and 23rd, respectively. Track facts predicting these drivers would go between 25 and 35 laps on 1 tank of fuel. And going just a bit further, repeat 1975 in the chat says Jeff No in that Patriot Esports car looks pretty stout. Talking about Stout Whiskey, his old Xbox name. Jeff No doing a good job in the top 10. Corey Blevins sitting 5th with Josh Arnold behind him in that 6th position. A quarter of a second off the top dozen is Nate Lehman, who's working on the inside of Cole Snyder now. 38 laps underway of the scheduled 105. Grandpa Coey also on the move up. Jim Coey trying to get around Steven Brinnick. This is for the 17th position, but Coey doesn't shy away from a fight in any position on the racetrack, whether it's for the lead, whether it's for last. Jim Coey does finish every single race that he attempts one way or the other. Grandpa Coey always giving it 110%. You've got to admire that fighting spirit. Same with Chris Murphy as well. He's up to the 13th position. Cole Snyder gives way to the top lucky spots. Then it's Q-Dog who's sitting in 15th right now, chasing down his J-Paw Militia teammate. Josh Arnold has decided to bring his car in, and there's a crash. The 7 car has gone down. Jarrett Manning wrecks his Duke Chevrolet, but we stay green. Let's see what happened to Manning. His Duke Camaro, he's already wrecked at this point. This is the lap prior. He's already got those scrapes on the right-hand side. And let's see if we can find out one better look at Jarrett. No, still the lap prior. There's Manning, who's already crashed. My guess is that he just got loose out of turn number 4. We'll have a look. And he was trying to come down pit road. Have a look at this. Manning does try to come down pit road, just a little too hard on the brakes. And a bit of a nose bump right into the pit wall. Uses a fast repair and makes it on through. And with fresh tires, Jeff Lednam in the number 37 Shelby Mustang liveried Ford now has the new fastest lap of the race. 31.04 seconds for Lednam. He's sitting in 19th right now, chasing down Brandon Pike. Pit stops are currently underway, so we're going to show you where your drivers are as far as pit road is concerned. Names on the bottom will have, well, the driver's name on the bottom will be abbreviated by 3 letters in their last name. Race leader Jose Ruiz coming down pit road, and you'll see his name added to the bottom. All of the top 6 down pit road, everybody getting fresh tires and fuel while the race continues to cycle around. Jordan Bain pitted on lap 41, and he's making his way through in that 28 car. Out of that second corner, looks like he just left pit road with a head full of steam, and he's got Chad Swatsworth right behind him. What did Jordan Bain pull off down pit road that the rest couldn't manage? A pit stop time 0.2 quicker than Chad Swatsworth behind him, and a pit lane time of half a second faster. There goes the 2.8, putting Jose Ruiz a lap with the fastest lap of the race, 1/100 faster than that of Jeff Lednam. Blevins in the 48, sitting in the 6th position right now. New fastest lap for Blevins, but now all eyes on Jordan Bain. The 2.8 Ford leads the number 1 Chevrolet. Bain a race winner earlier this season. Will we see a repeat winner, or will it be 3 wins in three different winners in 3 different races? Grandpa Coey putting in the new fastest lap, 30.77 seconds. Jim Coey, the new fastest lap of the race. And you might say that the old man still got it. Jordan Bain leading, but only by half of a second. Further on back, Brandon Pike is on the outside of Jeff No, trying to overtake him for the 11th position. Cole Snyder got some repairs to the 2-4 Storm Chevrolet. Smoke up ahead as someone gone around. Look at this mess here, the 2-7 of Rocky Top Wade giving way. Sam Wade must have made hard contact with that wall. The 6-2 of Brandon Pike on the outside line giving way to Nate Lehman. Car 14 in position 13, 2x2, 2 rows deep, and on the outside again, Cole Snyder making it work. The 2-4 car now hunting down Chris Murphy for a spot in the top 10. Sebastian, the producer, in the background, making way too much noise, but never mind him. Our first pit stop cycle completed with Jordan Bain, the big winner. He comes out in the lead, and he's pulling away from Shad Swatsworth in that second position. Zach Meredith sits in third. 0.6 to second, 0.6 to third. Zach Meredith behind the 6-9 of Brad Rivers. Not for position, however. Brad Rivers finds himself in 21st. The first car, 1 lap down. Chris Murphy in the 2-1 holding off Cole Snyder successfully, but for how much longer? Nate Lehman in the 1-4 also getting up close to the back end of Jeff No in that repeat Ford. Brandon Pike watching in the distance. Q-Dog Quinones rounding out the top 15. And Jim Coey, currently our hardest charger of the race. He's up 10 places from where he started when the green flag flew. Blevins all over the back end of Zach Meredith in the 1-7. Heavy blinking for that Red Bull Chevrolet, and he's hoping he gets that under control. But in the meantime, Blevins wants a piece of the podium. He's got the 2-2 and the 1-6 in tow. You're looking at 4th, 5th, and 6th, respectively. Corey Blevins in the 48. Josh Arnold in the 22. Kyle Taub in the 1-6. Wisconsin's Matt Boone, and now bothering the pilot of that KT Designs Ford. He wants a spot in the top 6. Matt Boone easily gets around top for that 6th position. Corey Blevins gets around Zach Meredith for the 3rd spot, and now Shad Swatsworth has a furious 48 car to deal with. 0.6 between 1st and 2nd, 0.6 between 2nd and 3rd. Cole Snyder with Jeff No in tow. Nate Lehman in the 13th spot, and Enrique Quinones 2 seconds behind him. Jim Coey reeling in Jeff Lednum by the inch. The 6-6 coming to the inside of the 3-7. This is the battle for 16th. To the inside of that 37, Jeff Lednum will very gentlemanlike give the spot to Grandpa Coey in the 66. Looking at 11th and 12th respectively, Jeff No all over the back end of Cole Snyder. He wants a spot, and Nate Lehman waiting to see what happens between these two. Further on ahead, Zach Meredith catching up to Corey Blevins. Blevins gets into 3rd, but he does not get away from the 1-7. Shad Swatsworth, however, not able to keep pace with Jordan Bain. 0.9 of a second is what sits between Jordan Bain. There's the 2-8. There's the one of Shad Swatsworth, and the 48 getting ever closer to the back end of that Lone Star #1 Nationwide Chevy. Meredith hanging in tow in that 4th position, while the fight for the lead is no longer the fight for second, starts to hot up. Further on in the back of the field, Jeff No doesn't relent off the back end of Cole Snyder. The Storm Chevrolet looking to hold off the repeat Ford, driven by Jeff No. Off that 4th corner, the 2-4 gets incredibly loose and destroys his exit speed out of the 4th corner. Jeff No now smells blood in the water and is ready to attack for the 11th spot. No to the inside. Past the halfway marker now, Jordan Bain leading Corey Blevins with a mirror full of Zach Meredith, but he's caught up to Shad Swatsworth. The 0-2 of Baker moving aside. Andrew Baker in the 20th spot now becomes the first car 1 lap down. Corey Blevins in the 4-8 has a unstable, I would say, Zach Meredith behind him in that 1-7 car. There's another blink out of the 1-7. That could be dangerous for these pilots. Here comes Meredith now to the inside, challenging for 3rd, despite the connectivity issues. Brave Zach Meredith to the inside of cautious Corey Blevins. Here's the fight for 3rd. Shad Swatsworth eagerly watching in his rearview mirror. Now he has the 1-7 car to worry about. Some drivers able to make it to lap 36, some drivers having to wait until lap 40 before they can come down pit road. Nate Lehman in that 1-4 car now gets to the inside of Cole Snyder. This is the fight we've been waiting to see for 12th point. Lehman, he gets into the top dozen. Jim Coey on the outside of Stephen Brinnick. These two sparring for the 16th position. Coey's up 10 places and he wants an 11th. Looking at Zach Meredith in the 1-7. Corey Blevins behind him in the 4-8. Meredith seems to have gotten the blinking under control for now. Just over 55 laps remain. No, less than that. 45 laps remain. I can't do math. But 4-8 car of Blevins continues to move along, but he's falling off the pace from Zach Meredith. Shad Swatsworth in that 1 car over the last 5 laps has been kind of a sitting duck. Last time around, Swatsworth was quicker than Bain by just 8/100ths of a second, but Zach Meredith was quicker than Shad Swatsworth this time around. Swatsworth slower than the leader and almost a 10th slower than Zach Meredith. Meredith has the draft now and he can smell Swatsworth up ahead. But as the adage goes, it's one thing to catch him and it's quite another to pass. Jose Ruiz in the 2-3 now looking to get to the inside of Jake Millsap in that 19 car. Millsap currently running in the 24th position, some 4 laps off the pace. Kyle Taub in the 1-6 car is the competition, you could say, ahead of Jose Ruiz. Getting a bit close through the corner. The 19 of Millsap gets right onto the bumper of Kyle Taub. Great save by Taub and avoided a big accident there. Millsap getting a bit aggressive with the back end of Taub, but the 1-6 Air Force Ford lives to fight another lap. Jose Ruiz can't take advantage of the 1-9 checking up, and the 2-3 DuPont Chevy stuck in the 8th position. Shad Swatsworth now has to play defense. Jordan Bain's up 2 seconds on the leaders. We're about 16 laps away from the second and what could be final pit stop cycle. Swatsworth in the 1 car, just ahead of Zach Meredith in that 1-7. Corey Blevins in the 48 car, watching eagerly. Jeff No working on Chris Murphy in the 2-1. This is for a spot in the top 10. No, to the inside of Murphy. Side by side, there we go. There's an appropriate camera angle. Side by side, it's a drag race for a spot in the top 10. 63 laps underway. There are the points brought to you by di9 Designs. Jeff No comes into tonight's race 9th in the points, and of course, this is only our 3rd race, so all of these drivers not separated by more than 2 or 3 points. Every spot matters in these first few races. It's a long 16-race season, but these are the moments where you look back and you'll say, I'm glad I made that pass. Chad Swatsworth sits 0.2 of a second ahead of Corey Blevins. Jordan Bain, however, sits almost 3 seconds ahead of them. Bain can afford to put the car into cruise control as he approaches 40 laps to go in the 2.8. That's Mike Allen in the double 8 car, hanging the tail out of turn number 2. Not the night he expected for the number 19 High Rock Vodka Chevrolet. Mike Allen comes into tonight's race 26th in points, but anything's possible. We're going to continue to cheer on our friend Mike. In the 5th position, one driver we haven't been talking about a lot is Matt Boone, the Wisconsin native. 1 win this season, looking to go for 2, but he's having a bit of trouble in that 3.8. Josh Arnold in the Double Deuce Southern Beverage car. He comes into tonight's race tied for 7th in points with the 1.6 of Kyle Taub. Josh Arnold running a consistent drive so far. Zach Meredith looking to get to the inside of Chad Swatsworth. Finally, with bated breath to the inside, the 1.7 has to keep it tight. He's going to go right up to that top lane and get a great entrance into turn number 3. Side by side, and there goes the 17 of Zach Meredith. He overtakes Chad Swatsworth for that 3rd position. Corey Blevins still in 4th. 1.7, 1.48 running 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Duct Tape Fan 06 in the chat saying, let's go Jake, cheering for Jake Millsap in the 19 car. Millsap currently finds himself 24th right now, trying to hold off Jose Ruiz, but Millsap finds himself 4 laps off the pace. Jose Ruiz sits in the 9th position, stuck behind Millsap. 8th position, excuse me. Jeff No is in 9th. He's working on the inside of Chris Murphy right now, and he's got him. That's a top 9 position now for Jeff No with some intermittent blinking. Hopefully, the internet issues get sorted out for that repeat Ford. Zach Meredith in the 1.7, now holding on to the 2nd position by 1/4 of 1 second, right before pit stop cycles, where you could estimate drivers, at least the majority of drivers, are about 10 laps away from that 2nd and final stop, the money stop, if you will. 35 laps to go. Next time by. The 17 sailing way high. There goes the 1 of Chad Swatsworth to the inside, and he's trying to get 2nd place back. White Walker 86 in the chat says, love you, Rick. Kurt, send my love to your family. Send my love to the whole Swatsworth clan. I love you too, buddy. Your brother nearly went for a spill down the back straight, but he recovered. Now trying to chase down Zach Meredith for that silver medal spot he lost some laps ago. Stephen Brennick and Brandon Pike swapping spots. That's going to be Brennick putting his 12 Napa Chevy into the top 15. Cole Snyder sits some 13 seconds ahead. Brandon Pike sits ahead of Jim Coey in the 17th position by 3 1/2 seconds, but there's some heavy damage to the side of that 6.2 PPG Ford and the front corner as well. Not the afternoon that Pike wanted, but hopefully there's some repairs waiting for him sooner rather than later. 3.5 seconds is Jordan Bain's advantage to Zach Meredith, but it's 10% of that. That's the advantage to 3rd place. Chad Swatsworth, 0.3 behind the 1.7. Corey Blevins a similar distance behind. And look who's cracked the top 5. Rhinelander, Wisconsin's Matt Boone, he's taken his time all day long to get up here. It took him 73 laps, but the 38 Federated Auto Parts Camaro finally cracks the top 5. He is 1.5 seconds behind Corey Blevins, and look at Shad Swatsworth not giving up the fight. Right before pit stops begin, the one car trying to use the tires on the 17. Meredith now has to play defense of his own 74 laps into this race. Josh Arnold coming down pit lane, and the 22 is in. That's going to start our second and final round of pit stop cycles. Your driver's name is abbreviated on the bottom of the screen. Ticking time on the left, pit lane time. Blinking time in the brackets, pit stop time. Jordan Bain leads by 4 seconds. Zach Meredith giving up second place to Shad Swatsworth. We've got smoke at least in the pit lane entrance. Looks harmless for now. But the one car of Swatsworth gets back into second. Corey Blevins wants a piece of the top 3. He's now coming up behind that 17 car. Hunter Peach brings his 2.6 Ream Supra down pit lane for a money stop. Stephen Brinnick does the exact same thing. Swatsworth starting to pull away from Meredith. Corey Blevins decides to chase that 17 car, and he's getting closer now. He's within 0.2 to the top 3. Jeff Lednam is in. Jeff No up to the 8th position. 4 seconds behind Jose Ruiz, who's only 0.3 behind Kyle Taub. Over the last 5 laps, Taub quicker than Ruiz and starting to pull away. A good move for the pilot of that 1.6, but now the 2.3 has been reeling him in. Let's see what the difference is this time around. Look at that, Kyle Taub almost 0.2 slower than Jose Ruiz. He must be, well, saving, conserving. He must have hit the wall in some sort of fashion, but the 1.6 car with a mirror full of DuPont. That's the battle for 6th. In the top 3, Zach Meredith in 3rd, Shad Swatsworth in 2nd, and almost 5 seconds ahead is Jordan Bain in that 2.8 car, who is just walking it at the moment. White Walker 86 cheering one bit for his brother Shad Swatsworth in that 2nd position. Anything is ultimately possible. Also cheering one more bit for his, and another bit as well. Go White Walker 86. Thank you, Kurt. Love you, buddy. Jose Ruiz in the 2.3 continues his chase of Kyle Taub. Hunter Peach in the 2.6 now climbing back up through the field. He's on fresh tires. Mike Allen still holds the fastest lap of the race with a 31.04 seconds. Now that there's more rubber in the track, we'll see who can beat it. Wad Walker 86 also cheering 28 bits for Jordan Bain, our race leader and current points leader. Swatsworth being overtaken by the 62 of Brandon Pike. 38 more bits, presumably, for Matt Boone. And for some reason, my chat box is not working. We'll get that fixed next time around. I apologize. Repeat 1975. What's going on? Pete, send my love to Beck. Send my love to the family. Pete cheering in 51 bits. Presumably 2 of those for Jeff No. 26 laps to go from the Texas Motor Speedway, waiting for this pit stop cycle to cycle through. And here come the big players. Shad Swatsworth screaming and screeching that Lone Star 1 into pit road. Now everybody's thinking, is it a penalty? Corey Blevins also coming down into the pits. That leaves the top 6 drivers who have not come down pit road. Q-Dog in the number 9 Michelob Chevrolet coming up behind Jeff No. 1.8 seconds is the gap. Jeff No following Kyle Taub, who's been overtaken by Jose Ruiz. Ruiz, who has a knack to extend his mileage, will not take the opportunity, and he brings the DuPont Chevrolet down pit road at an alarming rate of speed. putting the binders on quickly, and that's going to hand the lead to Kyle Taub in the 1-6. He's your new leader in the KT Designs Ford. Jordan Baines in pit road. Jose Ruiz also down pit road. How long will Taub stay out? Not more than a lap. The driver of the 1-6 comes down pit road, again bringing his car down to a grinding halt. Car number 1, Shad Swatsworth, climbing up through the field. He's behind Corey Blevins in the 4-8. A total pit stop time of 16 seconds. Compare that to Jose Ruiz, who had 14.6 seconds. We're going to see where these drivers all end up once we cycle through, but that should do it for pit stops for the rest of this race. 22 laps to go. Jordan Bain is your new leader with Kyle Taub finishing our pit stop cycle, and behind him by only 2 measly seconds, Josh Arnold now chases down Jordan Bain for the race lead. Zach Meredith, 1.5 seconds off of the pace from the top 2. Try a test here. There we go. Now we get the chat box working. Apologize for that. White Walker 86 says Blevins and Meredith were behind Shad going in, and they both beat him out. We saw the one of Shad Swatsworth skidding his tires coming down pit road. Let's see if we can get one more look at Shad entering pit lane. Well, apparently we can't. Have a look at Swatsworth coming down into the pits. Nope, that is not where we wanted to be. Let's have one more look and see if we can get a picture of Shad just screeching those tires on the way in. Luckily, he didn't get a penalty, but certainly he lost the momentum attacking his way down pit road, locking up that left front. All eyes on the 38 of Matt Boone, the Wisconsin native. I've been screwing that up all night. The Wisconsin native now has the fastest lap of the race, 30.59 seconds, now 30.58, back-to-back purple laps for the Cheesehead. Matt Boone makes it now. He's got the 2 fastest laps in tonight's race. Boone sits in the 6th position, up 8 places from where he started. Big Papa Bear says, I was watching it. Kurt, looks like Shad needs to fire his pit guys. Talking about Swatsworth in the 5th position now. Matt Boone, who just ran the 2 fastest laps of the race, starting to catch him up. Further up ahead, some calamity as Josh Arnold faces a challenge from Zach Meredith, and these are all things that Jordan Bain wants to see. It was 2-0 to go, 1-9 at the line, and 1-8 more great laps remaining in this race. Corey Blevins chasing down Zach Meredith on the inside line, and Josh Arnold will have to resign his silver medal spot. He gets relegated back down to 4th, but the fight stays on. And welcome back Shad Swatsworth into this fight. Here comes that number 1 Lone Star Chevy to the inside of Josh Arnold. Swatsworth edging Arnold for the 4th spot out of turn 4. Corey Blevins up ahead in 3rd. Kyle Taub in the 1-6, now behind the 1-4 of Nate Lehman. This is a fight for a spot in the top 10. Let's ride along with the driver of the Air Force Ford Mustang, see if he gets around Nate Lehman in the 1-4. To his inside now, headed into turn number 3, and it looks like he's going to make light work of that. Mustang on Mustang action into turn number 3. Kyle Taub gets the 10th spot. Matt Boone holds off a challenge from Josh Arnold in the 2-2. He hangs on to the 5th position. Boone is up 5 places from where he started when this green flag flew some 80-ish laps ago. Shad Swatsworth gets around Rocky Top Wade, who is wishing for a better evening tonight, but he still continues to soldier on. Swatsworth in that 1 car, less than half a second away from Corey Blevins, who's at the moment occupied with Zach Meredith. And it's all music to Jordan Bain's ears, because this pilot here is 4 seconds ahead of all of this, and he's got nothing to worry about but just keeping his car pointed in the right direction. Kurt Swatsworth saying that crew needs to be fired or sent to ARCA, talking about his brother Shad's pit stop crew. Of the drivers in the top 5, Shad Swatsworth total pit stop time 15.9 seconds. And actually looking through this entire list, yeah, 15.95 seconds is actually the slowest pit stop of anybody during that second cycle. So Swatsworth needs to have a look at his pit stop, guys. Jordan Bain being referred to as a god by Kurt Swatsworth. Lucky number 13 laps to go, and the pilot of the B-Water Mustang is up 4 seconds on Zach Meredith, who's got Corey Blevins right behind him. Meredith with that inconsistency all night long. Will Blevins be patient this time around? The intermittent internet connections. Will it be an issue for Zach Meredith? Will Corey Blevins be able to stick it to the inside line, or will he have to try around the outside like Sam Wade just did in that orange 27 car? Meanwhile, Chris Murphy to the inside of Hunter Peach, with Kyle Taub now joining the fight. This is 8th, 9th, and 10th respectively. It's a dozen laps remaining at Texas. You heard the 2-1 of Chris Murphy having to feather the throttle out of turn number 2, just a bit too jovial through the corner, and Kyle Taub takes his 8th place back. Shad Swatsworth with a mirror full of Matt Boone. This is for a spot in the top 4. Jordan Bain, 4 seconds is the gap, and he is just schooling these boys, but it's a tight fight for the top 3 positions. Zach Meredith only ahead of Corey Blevins by 0.3 of a second. It's 1-0 to go, and 9 next time at the line. Shad Swatsworth trying to defend 4th from Matt Boone, but he can hold it no longer. The Federated Auto Parts Camaro easily slides to the inside of the Nationwide Chevrolet, but Swatsworth throws the crossover to the inside of Boone, and he won't go gently outside of that top 4. Swatsworth with the advantage into 3. Can he make it stick? He hits that apron, washes up the racetrack, and that kills the momentum for Swatsworth on the inside line. Here comes Boone up 10 places from where he started in 14th, and it looks like he clears the one of Swatsworth for 4th. Hunter Peach not giving up the fight against Chris Murphy. Let's ride along for a quick lap with the driver of the 2-6. Caution is out. Caution is out at Texas Motor Speedway for the first time tonight. On lap 8, Andrew Baker falls off the racetrack, and we're going to have a restart inside these last 8 laps. Smoke billowing out of the 02 B&B Home Services Chevrolet. Yellow flag is out for the first time tonight with 8 laps remaining. Let's see what happened to Andrew Baker. Oh, whoa, heavy contact with the 8 of Mike Allen. Wow. Let's see if we can have a look. Baker in the 0-2 making heavy contact with that wall. Allen in the double-8 riding on his lid. Back on all fours. That was just wild. One more look on board Mike Allen. Hold on. Kurt in the chat surprisingly saying Wall ate him up. Right along with Andrew Baker for this one. That 12 car of Steven Brinnick with nowhere to go. Andrew Baker coming to a silent but crunching halt on that inside turn. One more look from the eye in the sky. Check this out. And that's going to be the first caution of the evening. Jordan Bain being scored as the race leader, just coming down pit road, using up his tires and getting a fresh set on that 2.8 Ford. All of the top 13 drivers coming down pit road for tires and for fuel. And this is going to be an exciting 3 or 4 lap shootout to the finish. Fans, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a 2-minute break, but we'll be back in 120 seconds with hopefully these final laps in the B-Water. I'm sorry, not the B-Water. The B-Water Ford leads. This is the di9 Designs Turn Down for What series. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. You cannot miss this. It will be 3 laps to go when we take the green. Zach Meredith played with internet connection issues all night. Will restart on the outside of row 1 with Jordan Bain looking to get his second win this season. Zach Meredith winless. And we've had 2 unique winners in 2 races this season. Meredith looking to go 3 for 3. Jordan Bain looking to get his win. He comes into this race 17th in points, having missed the season opener. This will catapult him through the standings, but he's got 3 miles to survive. Behind the top 2, Corey Blevins in the 48. Matt Boone coming into this race, the points leader who's already got a win himself, looking to go for 2 wins. The long shot, Jose Ruiz in the 23, Chris Murphy in the 2-1, great on restarts. Drivers backing up with Jeff No, having to get on the binders and nowhere to go back with Quinones behind him. Green flag will come out with 3 miles to go. Who will hold on and be the winner? Out of turn 4, green flag comes out, 3 laps left. Let's go racing. The high-octane race cars fanning out through turns 3 and turns 4. It's going to be a drag race out of that 4th corner, but Zach Meredith leads. 3 miles remain from Texas Motor Speedway. 1-7-2-8-4-8, your top 3 riding on board with Zach Meredith in the Red Bull Chevrolet, leading Jordan Bain by 2/10 out of the 2nd corner. Jordan Bain looks for a run, but here comes Corey Blevins in the 4-8 who wants a piece of the action. Jordan Bain now looking on the outside, trying a crossover out of turn 4. Watch for the setup. White flag is out. This time by Bain to the outside at a turn number 4, and here comes the run into 1. Matt Boone sitting in that 5th position. Hunter Peach in 4th. Zach Meredith just ran the fastest lap of the race, a 30.41, and the momentum allows him to cut off Jordan Bain out of turn number 2 down the back straight. 1 or 2 more chances for Bain on Meredith, but the 1-7 is in control. Out of the 4th corner, Jordan Bain looks to lift the 1-7 out of 4. Bain to the inside. It'll be a drag race to the line. Here comes Bain, but Zach Meredith holds on to beat Jordan Bain, and he wins round 3 at Texas. Thrilling last lap finish. Zach Meredith gets the win in the 1-7 car. Brilliant way to get the job done. Matt Boone starting the Demolition Derby, and we'll have driver interviews in just a moment. On the podium now with our top 3, starting with the driver of that 4-8 Blevins Design Chevrolet, Corey Blevins, with the bronze medal tonight. A great drive for you, Corey. You leapfrog into 7th place in the point standings, headed next week into Daytona.
Yeah, a very good run tonight. I was shocked that Zach got around Jordan there. Jordan would have easily had him covered had that stayed green. So I don't think I had anything for Jordan. Maybe had something for Zach possibly, but it's definitely an interesting race all around. Didn't have that yellow to the late end. So I could really drive it hard tonight and not lose a terrible amount of time, which really fits my driving style.
Great drive for you tonight. Next week at Daytona, hopefully we find you on the podium again. Congratulations on third. We'll see you in 7 days, Corey.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Our silver medalist tonight, driver of the 2.8B Water Ford, Jordan Bain, with an oh-so-close second place finish. But great work for you, Bainer. You leapfrogged from 17th to 11 in points, only 3 digits off the top 10. Fantastic drive.
Thanks, Rick. Yeah, congrats to Zach on the win. I did about 3 things wrong there on that restart. I really don't know what I was thinking in 1 and 2. And then I don't know why I didn't try to race them harder in 3 and 4. And then yeah, just good job. Caught me sleeping, I guess. I don't know what happened. But I always say these things, if they come down to short runs, anyone can beat me. So that's what happened tonight. So congrats to him.
He's human after all, as opposed to Kurt Swatsworth calling you a god earlier in the chat. But we'll see your skills next week at Daytona. Congratulations on your silver medal, Jordan.
Thanks, Rick.
Our race-winning interview tonight brought to you by the good folks over at di9 Designs, the Chase Elliott custom graphic design page on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at di9 Designs. They post graphics on all platforms multiple times a week and take requests on logos, wallpapers, iRacing schemes, and more. Follow and DM them for more details. They are not affiliated with Hendrick Motorsports or Chase Elliott. Be sure to use the code di9 Designs for free shipping on your diecast and merch orders over $20 on CircleBDiecast.com. And now our race winner, winning in thrilling fashion, in some uncertain fashion, with a latent internet connection, but Zach Meredith gets it done in the 1.7 Red Bull Chevrolet. Zach, amazing restart, and way to hold off Jordan Bain for the win.
Yeah, shout out to Bain. It was a great run. I mean, if that caution didn't come out, he would have won. I maybe would have had second at highest, but yeah, I seen him just drift up high in turn 1. I was like, that's my chance. I guess Swats was right. He is human, so I took my only chance I was probably gonna get, and definitely just try to run how I ran in practice. I was really good in the short run, and that last charge he had, it definitely scared me because I was definitely loose in 4. So when he got to my bumper, I thought I was gonna go around, but kept it still and brought it home. And I'm just glad I could actually beat this man. This man is a god.
We'll see how those skills put up next week. Headed into Daytona next Tuesday night, Zach, you have a 7-point lead over Matt Boone, 119 to 112. And then 5 points off of Boone is Nate Lehman with 107 points. We're going to see what we can do in a week at the World Center of Racing. But until then, congratulations on the win. Go celebrate, Zach.
Yes, sir. I'll look forward to it, and let's go to Daytona.
We'll see you there in a week's time. This Thursday night, the TNT Season 4 circus rolls on at none other than the Daytona International Speedway. Don't miss the Gen 4 ARCA cars at Daytona this Thursday night. I'll be on break next Monday night, but don't worry, in 7 days' time, we'll have another plate race for you. This very series, Turn Down for What Xfinity Series, comes to you next week from Daytona, as always, courtesy of di9 Designs. And then Pete, of course, twitch.tv/repeat1975. Saturday Night Showdown continues on his channel. Cannot miss the trucks there. Give this man a follow, a subscription, everything you need to do to keep up with him. It's been a fun night of racing, fans, and until that next event, everybody, please stay safe. Do take care of each other, and we will, as always, see you all around the corner.